interview, right? And I've faced many interviews, and I've got many opportunities to take interview also, to be a part of the interview board also. Many interviews in the police department, in other departments, including UP, PSC, the State Service Commission board member also. So, got to know a lot of things about interview. And you'll be surprised to know that it is generally said that when you go for interview, uh, your first 5 seconds decides your fate, isn't it? Have you heard this in the news? Your first 5 seconds or your first 5 steps reaching to your chair almost decides your fate. It's hard to believe how come the first 5 steps can decide my future. You would ask anything to me. But actually, this happens. Actually, this happens. What happens when a candidate walks up for the interview? So all the interviewers are looking at her very curiously. How he's walking, how he's coming up. And there is no such formulas, right? There's no such formulas. But there's an understanding. So for example, if, and that understanding comes from experience, lots of experience. And lots of trillions of calculations are done in our subconscious mind when we see someone, isn't it? When we see someone, something, lots of calculations are there. Suddenly, we feel like saying hello to him. Sometimes we say no, ignore him. Who takes this decision? Have you ever thought about it? Who takes this decision? Somewhere in your subconscious mind, all these calculations are done, and finally it tells you, okay, fine, go ahead, don't go ahead. Right? The similar thing happens when you go for the interview. And in the interview, it's not about how good you are in academics. Trust me, that could be only elimination part. The interview part, they want to see how good human being you are. They're not interested in the A plus mark sheet. They are interested in the A plus personalities. Whether you are fit for this organization or not. Now, again, you could be fit for organization A and you couldn't be fit for organization B, and the vice versa is also true. Because there are organizational ethos, different organizations, alag tarike se. But what happens when a candidate walks up, takes his 5 or 6 steps to reach the chair? Millions of calculations are done in the head. And if I like it in the first scan, I mean, the interview board is scanning this guy. And if there is a perception, this boy is good, right? Suddenly, he would start asking those questions from this boy, which are favorable and easier to answer. Because I like him. So I would ask only those questions to this boy, which are easier to answer. And when he is able to answer 3 or 4 questions, suddenly there is an impression in the board. He is good. He's pretty confident. He's answering. Right? And then the same thing, the same synergy goes across the interview board. Other interview board members are also influenced with the same philosophy. And this boy seems good. Right? And somehow he ended up answering the simple questions. Now the entire emphasis of the interview is not to know your knowledge. I mean, that is ridiculous to test your knowledge. They don't know. There's no need to test your knowledge because your knowledge has been already tested by the IIT Gandhinagar for the last 4 years. Your mark sheets are showing how much you know. I don't need to test it again and again. Right? I want to know how would you apply this thing in the company. The application part. How smart you are in application. Now this thing is very, very important. Whether you are smart or not. Now again I would come back to the original theory. in our life, academics plays less than 5%. Others are social and cultural skills. So one of the boy, he asked me one question, why we call the top guy in the US Army a general? Who asked me this question? Yeah, he asked me this question. So let me answer it. Basically, when you go up, when you are in the beginning of your career, you do work, you will be sitting on systems and all, doing all those things. When you grow up, after 5 years, only after 5 years, don't think it will take 10 years or 20 years. Only after 5 years, you will be dealing with a team. And your team would have 4, 5, 10, 20, 200 people to work for you. Your role now has changed. Earlier, you were writing code yourself. Earlier, you were doing the things yourself. Now, not anymore. Now, what you're doing, you are supposed to take work from others, like you, who have been freshly recruited and working in your company. That's the whole idea. Now, your skill set has to change. How a smart coder you are, right? You yourself is good. But if you are not in a position to take work from your team, the product of your team won't be as good as you are. There's a change in your role. We don't understand this change easily. And there is a problem. Now the new role, you have to get the work done. Your output is not your output. Your output is the output of your team. So as your boss, I would judge the output of the team. And that output is your output. And you will be frustrated because your team is not performing as per your expectation. Now, how to make this team working for you as per your expectation is your social intelligence. If you are smart enough, you will get the work done. And if you think you are very smart, I will do this, then you will only do this, your team will not do it. Try to understand this difference. So he is called general because he is not supposed to launch a rocket. He is not supposed to design a missile. He is supposed to know his men, their traits, and where and what they are at best at, right? If I know this man is good at this man is good at this. So, as a general, I will put him at this point, I will put him at this point, my primary work is to understand men. Men means understand his psychology. That's the game. That is the game. If you can understand the psychology of your boss just by looking at him, trust me, you're going to be very, very successful. Because communication is not what is said. The real communication is what is not said. Try to understand this point. Said is for everyone. The tacit thing is that if you can understand what is not said, if you can understand that thing, then the bang on you are smart person. And this will come only if you respect others. This will come when you start learning. You always remain in the kid mode, then you learn. Do you know, if I ask you to learn Chinese, how much time would it take the sky blue t-shirt to learn Chinese? 4 or 5 months. And now, if I put a child, a 1-year-old child, how much time would he take to make it complete expertise? Less than you. Right? You might take even a year to become expert in Chinese, fluent in Chinese, but a child would do much faster than you. Why? Because he has got no reservation in his mind. He tries to learn first. What did he say? What did he say? He will just try to replicate it without even knowing what he is saying. The best of learning. So, always keep learning new things and keep finding old things, right? This is the real thing. I give you one example how the great leaders do their work. So this is from one of the greatest personalities of India, Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir. So he was the ISRO chief, and one of the scientists came up to him and said, "Sir, I need a break today evening because my wife is asking me to take her to the exhibition. The kids want to go to the exhibition. So he said, okay, fine, you go. So the permission was granted. And the scientist was very good. He was working on some great project. So he was supposed to go back by 7 o'clock. So Mr. Abdul Kalam Sahab, he saw the scientist was busy. He was engrossed in his work, completely engrossed in his work, and kept doing. He didn't remind him. He didn't remind him that, gentlemen, your wife is waiting. Go home. You would have a special kind of welcome if you are late today, right? But he didn't remind him, right? So when this gentleman came in senses, maybe after work, it became when the clock showed it's 11 o'clock, he was terrified because he has committed to his wife that he would go to an exhibition. So, on the way, he kept making lots of excuses. How would he say excuse to his wife? And when he opened the door, he was getting jittery with trembling hands. He just clicked the button, bell. He opened the door opened. The wife welcomed her smilingly. She welcomed her with a smile. Now this man was taken by surprise. How the hell this is possible? I made a commitment that I will be here by 6 o'clock, and I'm appearing at 11 o'clock. And then wife prepared even a cup of tea for him. Now he was totally aghast. What the hell this is going on? And he has many big questions on his head. Why this? I'm late. So then he politely asked, I'm so sorry, I got engrossed in the work and I couldn't come. But tomorrow we'll go to the exhibition. So the wife told, no, there's no need. I've been to the exhibition. Your boss, Mr. Kalam, came and we all came to the exhibition and we had a good fun over there. That is called true leadership. So you have to understand your men. If you understand your men, your colleagues, your performance will go. Now imagine if your boss does something like this for you, what would you do for him? You would be ready to do anything for him, right? In my life as a cop, it was a turbulent life in the beginning when I was SP. Lots of gunfighting, chala karta. And my team was committed to me, absolutely committed to me. Do you know why? For one reason, if it is 2 o'clock in the night, and I know no dhabas would be open at this time, I would call my entire team in my home. With them, would have some snacks or something that we would think, something in each other, etc. So if you be a part of the team, your team would do anything for you. And all these things which are being done right now are general in nature. Offering a food is a very general thing, right? Offering a service is a very general thing. Offering a small favor is a general thing. So the general you need general thing, and that is why they become general. Remember this thing, right? So it's very important. And the 2 questions would be asked from you. Every time you would go to any interview, invariably 2 questions would be asked from you. The first one, how do you see yourself down the line 10 years from now? It's a very standard question. It's a very, very standard question. And you have to figure it out. How do you see yourself down the line 10 years? Because it would give me an idea about your life, about your visions, about your future, about your plans, future plans. This is very, very important for me. And this is for the beginners. And for the people at the senior positions like Vice President or for the CEO positions, they are also interviewed. The only question, in fact, the only important question asked, let's see, now if I called 5 people for the post of the CEO, all of them are successful, brilliantly successful. So if I ask them about their experience in life, this would be an idiotic idea. They are very genius in their work. There's no point of asking their work from them, right? So the only question asked at the senior positions, Explain your failure, the worst failure of your life, and how did you handle it? This would be the second question when you would rise to the position of vice president or maybe some COO, CEO positions. When you would grow, when you would be 40 plus, this question would come. How did you face the biggest failure of your life? That would be the second question. So in the interview, now the next question, very important question. The candidate who is coming, now, is he trying something extra to influence me? Can he influence me? I'm a rational person. I'm a logical person. I cannot be influenced. So can he influence me or me means anyone? That is something very, very to know. Now, let me give you some other thoughts about it. Fine. See. Can someone explain what is happening here? Yes? Yes? Why this carrot dumping madly? Yeah? No. Scared of the cucumber. Why? So basically, yeah, please. As a snake. Very well said. What's your name? Rohan. Let's clap for Rohan. What right answer. Basically, it's a fun game. So whenever cats are eating something and they are taking their food, the people would put a cucumber behind it. And the moment cat would take a turn, she would jump. Why? Because this thing has been coded in her head genetically. So it won't change because they don't learn, they don't have experience. For example, a baby kitten is as good as his or her mother because they don't learn anything. They don't learn anything. So, in fact, we can influence their behavior like this. For example, if a dog is doing sniffing job somewhere, and if you bring a rasagulla near him, or if you bring a chicken, roasted chicken near him, suddenly the smell of the roasted chicken would change his behavior immediately. So we are smart people, we are humans, and humans have got cognitive abilities, which animals don't have. Otherwise, our genes are more or less same. We are 98.6% same with the chimps. 98.6% similar to the chimps genetically. The only thing that we are superior is that we have the cognitive abilities, right? So we know that I can influence the behavior of an animal because I'm a rational person, I'm a logical person, I'm a smart person. I have experience of millions of years, which is coded, which I have read, which I learned from my forefathers, so I know how to manage it. Now the big question is, can someone manipulate your mind? Knowing that you cannot be manipulated. This is the question. For the Rohan, the question is, you shouldn't get influenced. You must make a rational decision. You must be logical. You know that you are not going to get irrational. Still someone can influence you or not. Tell me. You know it, that somebody would come and try to influence you. And you shouldn't get influenced. Would you get influenced or not? Are the chances of him bringing you under his influence? What are the chances? Is that possible scenario or not? Be participative. Okay, let me tell you. Yes, it works. It happens. For example, there's an industry that is called influencing industry, right? And what is that? The LIC. If an LIC agent comes to you, in 10 minutes he will be able to sell one LIC policy to you, right? And if I ask you to do the same thing, okay fine, you take, Rohan, take this LIC policy, sell it out. Would you be able to sell them? Probably not. Probably not. So this industry, so just understand the way they influence their mind. Sometimes in restaurant, you give more tip to a particular waiter. Not all the time. Why? Have you ever thought about it? Why? Because unknowingly he has influenced your mind. And how he has done it? When he brings the bill to you, he will just bring one candy to you. Sir, one candy. You are very happy. You feel privileged. You feel happy. Then you feel like doing something for him. Right? And if he brings two candies, you are still happier. Wow. Right? And if he comes in between and says, sir, your shirt is very nice. It's looking wonderful. Probably the tip would still be more, isn't it? What he is doing, he is trying to influence your mind, and it works. And sometimes we become the victim, and sometimes we use it for ethical reasons. One example, two examples of this thing, and then we will go for Q&A session so that I would handle your questions, right? Because I'm sure there would be many questions you are new here, coming out of home for the first time. So I would love to answer those questions. This is how I would learn the new thought processes that you are having. So, in a business school, they divided the class into two parts and asked one group to go for negotiations. And in this negotiation, they were told that time is money, don't waste your time, go to talk to them and do the business. Negotiate the deals, right? So this team started working negotiating the deals, and the success rate was 52%. So, meaning by 52% deals were successful, right? The other team were given the similar task, but this time they were told to go with the other team with whom they have to make negotiations. Go with them to a coffee shop, maybe to a McDonald's, eat something, exchange pleasantries, move around the city for quite a while, a little bit, and then in the evening you have the negotiations. So time is not money here. This time they were comfortable. So they went on here and there, roam around here and there. In the evening, they set for the business and they made negotiations. Success rate this time was 92%. What do you understand from this? Basically, in this process, both the teams were able to influence each other. Right? There was more trust because they had coffee together. And when they were having coffee together, he was trying to understand his mindset and the other person was trying to understand his mindset. Right? It's very, very important to understand. And this understanding is not, there's no model for it. How we understand it. There's no model for it. Second thing is, there was an experiment. There was an experiment in a mall of Paris, where the professors, they asked a bunch of guys that they were supposed to go to the women and the ladies and the girls, start talking ladies and girls who are coming to the mall, and talk to them and take their phone numbers. Right? So these guys started taking their numbers. And the success rate was 13%. So, and these guys were complete strangers to the women, remember. So this experiment was done in France, so in their culture, numbers can be given. It's okay. So we should take the cultural aspect in the picture also. But the story is not ending here, it's something more. The same researchers, they asked the same team of guys, bunch of guys. Now, you would propose the same idea to the women in the flowers area. There was a flowers bay, where both the sides were flowers shops, right? And the women were supposed to give their numbers to the complete strangers. Generally, nobody would like to give her number to a complete stranger, right? But when this experiment was done again in the flowers bay, where all the shops were flowers, and there was this sweet fragrance of flowers and blah blah. There was a good romantic atmosphere here and there, and the success rate immediately doubled. This time, 46% women gave their numbers, phone numbers, to complete strangers. So what happened? What happened? Actually, their minds were influenced unknowingly. They were not even, I mean, most of them would have come back home and said, why the hell I gave my number to this guy? Right? They might think, but it happens. It happens. It works. So, because all these things have been coded genetically in us, we don't even are aware this is happening. Right? So, it actually works. So, one tip for the guys, if you have to propose a girl, choose a higher place. Which a place which is slightly higher, a bridge, higher place, or maybe very, very high rooftop, a nice place to propose a girl. You would be surprised to know there is a point in Eiffel Tower, which is known as a proposal point. So when I visited Eiffel Tower, I actually saw the guy proposing girls and the girl getting blushes on her face and accepting the proposal, because it's so difficult to say no at the heights. I don't know. So be smart. Now if you think I'm an A grader and I would propose a girl, she would accept it, but yeah, nahi kaam chalega. You have to be actually socially smart person to become successful, right? So why someone agrees to you? This is something very, very important. Your bosses to you or your subordinates to you. This word agree, reaching to the consensus. This is whole life. This is whole life, right? And this is very, very important. And it is something to understand. And a lot depends on understanding the psychology. How we understand you and how do you understand us, right? And keep learning. So, for example, I give you another example of influence, right? So, in the gym, if the guys are tired and they are doing something like this, and suddenly, say about few girls, smart looking girls enter the gym like this, you know what would happen? Your personality would change completely. And suddenly, you start acting like this. This happens. So now, the whole idea is that this girl did not make any effort to influence the mind. But guy 50 kg उठाता होगा तो उस दिन 70 किलो उठाएगा. Right? Genetically coded. So that when you try to understand the social things, right? All this understanding would come to you. It would reach to you. And so is the case of gender intermingling. It's very important. It is not taught. It is not even discussed. I wish to discuss this thing with you. It's very, very important. How to talk to a girl respectfully. They are equally smart as we are. The only difference is that over ages we haven't given them the opportunity to shine. And then we say, you are a duffer, you don't know. You are good enough for the kitchen. The bullshit idea. So the crux of the matter is they are absolutely equally smart, rather smarter than us. Go to the LinkedIn and try to see the profiles of women. Most of them are HR heads. So there are many chances, rather more than 70% chances, wherever you would work, your HR head would be a woman. So whenever you have to seek a holiday or seek a leave from her, understand how to influence her. Because woman would be the head. In 90% cases, in the HR cases, HR thing is handled by women. No one can handle HR than women. See, this is how the things are. Practically, you see the wrong thing. Go. Right? So now, this is another big question that when guys think like, okay, fine, I must approach a girl, I must say, propose a girl, I must say some good words to her, I might have a coffee with her. But they don't do. There is fear. Fear of what? Fear of rejection. That what if she says no? Tell me, why do you have so much of fear of rejection? Don't we fail every day? If you realize it clearly, we are rejected every day. Many a times we are rejected. We accept that rejection very comfortably. For example, if you ask some of your friends, fine, let's go for dinner. And if they are not in a mood to go for a dinner, they won't go. You're rejected. Your proposal is rejected. You take it otherwise? No, it's okay. It's okay. Keep trying. Keep changing the circumstances. Maybe this group of friends is not happy with me. Okay, fine. So I will have another set of friends. So the whole idea is that do not bother or worry for rejection. Right? Do not take it, make it an ego question. I'm an ideal. How a girl can say no to you? अरे यार इंसान नो क्यों नहीं कर सकती तुमसे? Why can't she say no to you? It's the same thing. Would you say yes to all the girls they are coming to you? Abul. Right? You would have some choice, isn't it? Be honest. You would have some parameters of choosing. नहीं मुझे ये पसंद नहीं ये चीज़ है इसके साथ चाहिए इसके साथ नहीं. You have parameters of choosing. So think the same thing. The girls do have the parameters of choosing. So it's a vice versa thing. It's a vice versa thing. So the whole idea is that approach to them with respect, with equal, with equality in your mind. She's as smart as you are, right? Make her a friend, a good friend. Spend time understanding each other. And if you understand each other, there's no need to actually verbally say something. Because I already told you 93% conversation is non-verbal. Right? So the whole idea, what I'm trying to tell you, is do not take it as the girls are हुआ वो मना कर देगी तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. कुछ नहीं होगा. I have personally faced many rejections, don't we? Life में चल रही है. अच्छी चल रही है. It's okay. Do not make it an issue. Because आप अपने आप को वहां रखकर देखो. आप भी तो रिजेक्ट करते हो. So live up in a healthy environment. And probably this is the first time when I'm seeing so many girls because there's some affirmative reservation for the girls this time, isn't it? This batch, some additional percentage has come. So it's a great thing that they have come. You would have a much better exposure to work with them. And honestly, when I went to ISB, so in ISB there were more than 35% women. And every group, 4 persons group, would have one girl there, or at least 1 or 2 girls in a group. And then I realized, I'm sharing my experience. Because in our college, out of 350, there were hardly 8 or 10 girls. So 4 years went off, there was not a single interaction because there was no chance of interaction. So I didn't know how do they think, how do they work. So when I went to ISB, and then I came to the police again. Police is primarily a man's job these days. When I went to ISB, I learned how smart they are. So if you see my interview on the ISB, I've clearly written, so far I respected women for them being a woman. But now I respect women for their competence. मैंने बड़ी ईमानदारी से बोला उसको, and I stand by it. They are very competent, very smart. So this thing applies on both of you. You have to make a better future for the society, better future for our states, for our country. You are the stakeholders, the right stakeholders. The only thing that I would advise you, suggest you to have one thing: respect. And trust me, if you approach a girl with respect, even if she says no, you won't feel humiliated. She would say no in a very bright manner. But अगर आपकी अप्रोच ही ऐसी है कि जो आपकी आंखों में दिख रही है, see, और ये आपको बता चुका हूं कि आप जो हो वो दिख जाता है आंखों से. 55% कम्युनिकेशन आईज करती है. And the girls are born with extremely great intuition power. Genetically intuitive होती है. Girls बोलो आप दूर से देख के समझ जाती है, नहीं समझ जाती बोलो. देखो बोल रही है. They understand. They understand. They understand everything. So intuition उनका बड़ा strong होता है. So the whole idea of adding this thing, I'm adding this thing for the first time because I thought it is needed. It is needed. We don't discuss these things. Why shouldn't we discuss? We have to work together. We have to work together. So for the girls, if you have to say no, my advice would be say no with politeness, so that at the end of the day you don't hurt a person. At the same time, for the boys, if you're rejected, accept it as another failure. No problem. It's okay, right? So, the real life is all about pass fail. See, can you connect the pass fail things with the real life also now? It's very, very important. The life is about pass fail. So, don't get carried away when you fail. It's okay, because failure would give you a sense of direction. The biggest failure, in fact, the biggest failure life would have given you the biggest sense of direction. Try it out. Think about yourself. And you would remember this line when you pass out from this and when you spend 5 years in public life. It would work. It happens, right? So I'm not going in much details about it. All I'm trying to tell you, you are lucky, you're chosen one. Enjoy this life at campus. Stay away from the drugs. They are really bad. They're really bad. Never touch them. Right? Be healthy. Go to gym. And be fit. Eat well. Look smart. Speak smart. And live a wonderful life. And make friendships. Beautiful friendships. Because see, the biggest frustration today, the most of the ideal friends, my ideal friends have, is that they are lonely. They are completely lonely. So how do you find them? Because in the race, they kept running, they forgot their friends. So do not forget your friends. Stay with them, because the maximum fun of your life, the maximum happiness of your life, after small things like money and all this are sorted out, it would come from your friends. Only from your friends. So invest in your friends. Because बाकी रिश्ते हम लोग पैदा होते हैं तो बड़े बना जाते हैं. एक रिश्ता हम नया बनाते हैं, पहला रिश्ते का. उसको जरूर बनाओ और उसको निभाना सीखो. And work hard and party harder. This is a small life. कोई भी खुशी का मोमेंट होती है, मैं सोचो जब बड़ी खुशी आएगी तब डांस करें. छोटी पे शुरू कर दो. It's very important. बड़ी आएगी तो ज्यादा करेंगे. क्या फर्क होता है? It's life. Enjoy every moment in your life. Don't miss any opportunity to have fun. Right? Work hard with focus. Be happy. Make others happy. Smile करना सीखो. अच्छा बोलना सीखो. जोक करना सीखो. अपने ऊपर लोगों को हंसाना सीखो. अपना मजाक उड़वाना सीखो. Trust me. It will make you a very strong personality. अपना मजाक उड़वाना आसान बात नहीं होती है. करके देखो. It will make you very, very strong from within. It's very important lesson, right? एंड देन अच्छा काम करो। गवर्नमेंट में बहुत अच्छा काम करने को नहीं मौका मिलता है, बट फिर भी अगर आप के अंदर क्या है, ग्रिट है, ग्रिटी आपको लगे रहो। एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल मैं देना चाहता हूँ, विच आई डिड। हमारे खाने वाने ऐसे होते हैं नॉर्मली, बट इज देयर समबडी फ्रॉम लखनऊ? यस, हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट 1090 विमेन पावर लाइन? 1090 विमेन पावर लाइन चौराहा, हैव यू हर्ड इट? गोमती नगर में देखा है आपने उसको, सुना है उसके बारे में? सो लुक एट दीज गाइस हु हैव स्टडीड अप इन लखनऊ, जिनका पुलिस से मतलब नहीं, फिर भी इनको पता है। ये जान के मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है कि ऐसे बच्चों को भी विमेन पावर लाइन के बारे में पता है जिनका उससे कोई वास्ता नहीं पड़ता। सो आई सेट अप अ विमेन पावर लाइन इन लखनऊ, एंड दिस इज अ टिपिकल हमारा जो खाना स्ट्रक्चर होता है, बट वी चेंज इट। मुझे बहुत हार्ड वर्क करना पड़ा, हार्ड वर्क से ग्रिट परसिवरेंस से लगाना पड़ा। सीनियर ऑफिसर से मेरा बड़ा मजाक उड़ाया कि यार ये भी कोई काम में काम है, कि लड़कियों को कोई हरास कर रहा है, परेशान कर रहा है, तो उसको जो है उसके लिए आप कुछ करो। अरे पुलिस का काम तो अलग होता है। तो इस तरीके से मेरा बड़ा मजाक उड़ा वहां पे, बट आई वाज श्योर मुझे काम ही करना है। सो दे केप्ट ह्यूमिलेटिंग मी, दे केप्ट मॉकिंग मी, बट आई वाज डिटरमाइंड कम व्हाट मे, बिकॉज मेरी परवरिश, मेरी माँ ने यही सिखाई है, गिव अप नहीं करना है, सोच लिया तो करना है। आई वाज कन्विंस्ड कि ये काम करना है, किया, एंड फाइनली वो इतना अच्छा हुआ, वो आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ। दिस इज द ऑफिस विमेन कॉलेज। In the night, if you visit this, it is like this. So outside, and if you go inside, and all these are police constables. All of them are police constables. The lowest rung of our system. And if you go inside, it's like this. Absolute corporate government. And these girls are Tharo tribal girls who never in their life were never seen a city. So one of my deputy SP, she went in the Beraich area and in the Khiri area, the deep forest, and she found them, and she found them very intelligent. They were 12th, all of them were 12th class, but there was no facility for education. So she brought them to us, and then inspired by my friend who adopts girls for training, I took his idea and then I trained them with our campus, and finally we gave them a job on the contract basis. So these girls, whose annual income, their family's annual income was less than 20,000 per month. Extreme poor tribal girls, extremely poor tribal girls. They are right now working in a world-class environment. So this was a picture. I requested them, please come in your traditional wear. So we should have some classic pictures for them. So right now they are working with us, living a wonderful life. And then it was a complete change of mind. The whole idea was they are women, and women from the tribal area, the weakest link. And if they can help others, other women in distress, तो हमने ये किया, जो सबसे कमजोर कड़ी थी हमने उसको मजबूत कर दिया. That was the whole idea about it. And that's why they have been working here. And this is another picture. And this is a smile that I work very hard that our employees should have a smile on their face. This is the work of the general. अगर मैं वहाँ पे एक लकिया न्यूज ऑफिसर की तरह ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, ये करो वो करो डांटता रहता, तो इनके चेहरे पे कोई स्माइल नहीं आता, और इनके चेहरे पे स्माइल नहीं आती तो कभी इतनी अच्छी सेवा नहीं कर पाते. जो लोग लखनऊ के हैं या उत्तर प्रदेश के हैं जानते हैं 1090 is such a successful number. Every day more than 20,000 calls को आप अटेंड करते हैं. Women have become so empowered. छोटी छोटी बात होती है, कोई ना तंग करता, फोन करके फोन करूँ क्या? See, that is the empowerment that has gone to the women. It's a wonderful thing that we created there. And these are the senior officers who visited us. And I always kept academia with me. So like he is a professor of IM, she is a PhD student at IM. So I kept them in the loop. Because see, what happens when we crack civil service examinations, we live we think in a way like we know all, we are knowledge proof. No. Learning is a process which is a continuous process. You have to learn every time with everyone. And she's Ram Sinehu, and I like this picture, so I always show this picture to all of you. And in the real life is different. Your academics, your excellence paper, it will not work. The one thing would work is your social intelligence. That is how well you understand the others, the people who are working for you, and the people whom you report to. If you understand them psychologically, if you understand them, their expectations, without saying it, you will be smart. So here you are, you are, I would say, the luckiest guys and girls who have come to IIT Gandhinagar because of one person, your general. I would like to clap for our director, Vivian. Yesterday, I dropped a message to him, sir, I would like to sit with you. He said, drop it. And then I went to, I don't know which classroom, and there, a communication classes were taken by Stephen. Have you heard his name? Yes, you would be, I'm sure all of you would take his classes. What a visionary thinker he is. He is a visionary leader, a true leader. He knows that the boys who are coming from rural area, from the backward areas, smart mentally, but not smart socially. So I have to groom them. What a wonderful way. He's inviting the best talent in the world to train you. Participate in that. Be a part of his career. Make your personality a glowing personality. So the IIT Gandhinagar students should appear. Or IIT Gandhinagar means there is an impression of Dr. Sudhir Kedia, and that should go with you. This is my inspiration from him. Improve your personality. Participate in all extracurricular activities. Marks वाक्स होता है यार चलता रहेगा. Honestly बता रहा हूँ. कोई कभी नहीं पूछता. कोई कभी नहीं पूछता. कभी नहीं पूछता. और स्टडीज ऑलरेडी हो चुकी है. आप लोगों से मैं चाहूंगा कुछ लोग जरूर कर ले स्टडीज. जो टॉपर शॉपर थे उनका क्या हाल हुआ. और जो लोग बहुत अच्छे थे उनका क्या हाल हुआ. एंड वो अच्छे एवरेज थे लेकिन उन्होंने लाइफ में कैसे आगे बढ़े. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Then you would realize, अभी से conclusion बता देता हूँ. The people who grew up, जो आगे बढ़े और सक्सेसफुल बनते चले गए, उनके अंदर एक चीज कॉमन नहीं होगी. सोशल इंटेलिजेंस. जबरदस्त सोशल इंटेलिजेंस होती है. मैं आपको एक रियल लाइफ किस्सा सुनाता हूँ. So it happened in Banaras. So the Banaras SSP was Dr. Trinath Mishra, a learned person. And what happened? You know, what is this called? Muharram? You understand Muharram? Yes. So during Muharram, the processions are taken up. And there are big, huge processions are going through here and there. And traditionally, there is no law for that. Traditionally, they follow the traditional route only. So if the route is fixed up, they would go by that route only. Come what may. So, this is understood. So what happens, the police guys, what they do, whenever the Muharram is approaching, they would send a recce team. The local SHO would go, would see the entire route, whether the procession can lead or not. Because वो ऊंचे ऊंचे होते हैं ना ताजिए, वो कई बार लोग क्या करते हैं, अपना मकान बना लिया, तो उसका फंस जाएगा. So we see it on the road कि किसी ने कोई ऐसा कंस्ट्रक्शन तो नहीं कर लिया या कोई ऐसा पेड़ तो नहीं उगाया जिसमें वो फंस जाए. तो उसको हम लोग काट फाट के उसको ठीक कर देते, so that the procession should go comfortably. कोई उसको रुकावट ना हो उसमें. So the recce was done. And बनारस में बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज ये थी कि मुहर्रम का प्रोसेशन एक हिंदू विलेज के बीच में से जाता था. हिंदू विलेज को मतलब टच करते हुए आगे जाता. सो व्हाट द हिंदूज डिड, उन्होंने ना केले के पेड़ लगा दिए पूरे रास्ते में. बनाना ट्रीज. एंड बनाना ट्रीज जब लग जाते हैं तो दे हैव अ टेंडेंसी टू टच each other. They generally bend towards each other. तो वो रास्ता ऐसा हो गया कि उस पे से मुहर्रम का प्रोसेशन नहीं निकल सकता. एंड किसी ने मिस्टेक करी, चलो पंगा करते हैं. एंड इसके साथ साथ वो उसके नीचे ना थोड़ा सा अगरबत्ती लगाना शुरू कर दिया पूजा। सो बनाना ट्री लग गए और वो पूजा भी शुरू। अब जब पुलिस ने वहां पहुंचा तो उसने कहा भाई इनको तो काटना पड़ेगा। तो हिंदू लोग नाराज हो गए, बोले खबरदार, पूजा हो रही, देवता है, केला देवता, मूर्ति मूर्ति छोटी मोटी रखी, ये नहीं आप काट सकते। तो फिर पुलिस वाले जो मुस्लिम पुलिस उनके पास गए, ये वो केले वेले लगे वहां पे, आप ऐसा करो उसके बदल का एक रास्ता उससे चला जाओ। तो बोले नहीं, ये तो हमारे मुल्कों का रास्ता, हम जाएंगे इसी रास्ते से। अब जब ये इन्फॉर्मेशन एसएसपी के पास पहुंची, डॉक्टर दीनदयाल मिश्रा के पास पहुंची, उन्होंने बड़े एफर्ट मारे, सबको भेजा, किसी तरीके से कोई भी एक पार्टी मान जाए, चाहे मुस्लिम मान जाए या चाहे हिंदू मान जाए, क्योंकि मुहर्रम निकलना है तो निकाला जरूरी है, ये हमारी ड्यूटी है, हम निकालें। और अगर हमने इसको डिले कर दिया, अगर राइट डिसीजन सही समय पे नहीं लिया, यू नो व्हाट वुड हैपन? अ कम्युनल क्लैश, एंड कम्युनल क्लैश मींस व्हाट? Massive failure. Now the SSP was under tremendous stress, approaching एक वीक बचा है उसका, and he is not finding any solution. What to do? अकेले रहते थे तो उनका जो चाय पिलाने वाला बंदा था, जो फॉलोअर से कहते हैं लोग, असिस्टेंट मिलता है जो पुलिस ऑफिसर्स को, तो उसने कहा कि साहब अब 2-3 दिन से मैं देख रहा हूँ बड़े उदास है, चुप है, बोल भी नहीं रहे, चाय पिला दूं, सर मालिश कर दूं, कुछ स्टेप्स बोले। तो बोले नहीं ठीक है, चलता रहता है, चाय पी लो, चाय पीना शुरू किया। फिर बोले साहब कोई ऐसी बात हो तो सर शेयर कर लो, मन हल्का हो जाएगा। दिस इज हाउ दे टिपिकली से, क्योंकि आपके मुंह लग जाते हैं ना, तो बोलते हैं कि शेयर कर लो सर, कुछ हल्का हो जाएगा। तो बोला नहीं तेरे मतलब का नहीं, बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है। बोले सर कर लो शेयर, क्या? तो ही शेयर्ड इट विद नाउ he is SSP, he has cleared the civil service examination, he made his student, तभी वहां पर बैठे हुए हैं और कह रहे हैं बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है, सॉल्व हो गई। ऐसे चंपी वाला बच्चा है जो बेचारा फिर पास भी नहीं है, कहते इसमें परेशान होने की क्या बात है? सोचो, जब उस फॉलो ने कहा होगा कि सर इसमें परेशान होने की क्या बात है, तो उनके चेहरे उनको हार्ट अटैक आ गया होगा। मैं इतनी बड़ी बड़ी डिग्री पास करके आया हूँ, एग्जाम पास करके आया हूँ, इसमें क्या हुआ? बोला साहब 500 रुपए दो, देखो मैं अभी सॉल्व करवाता हूँ। पलट के देखा व्हाट द हेल इज दिस, करेगा क्या? बोला सर 500 रुपए दो, मैं भी करवाता हूँ, सोल्यूशन निकलेगा। तो उन्होंने कहा 500 रुपए में सोल्यूशन, 500 बहुत हुआ करते हैं, इमीडिएटली 500 रुपए उसको दिए, एंड ही वेंट, एंड व्हाट ही डिड, द फॉलोअर, अ 4th क्लास एम्प्लॉय जो चाय बनाने का काम करता है, राइट, वो गया, उसने जो वो होते ना एलिफेंट्स के जो बड़े बड़े जो ग्रुप्स होते हैं, बड़े बड़े जो 40-50 एलिफेंट के हर्ड्स होते हैं, उनके लोगों को जाके कहा कि मैं तुमको इतने पैसे दूंगा, लेकिन एलिफेंट का ये ग्रुप उस रास्ते से गुजरेगा। उनको पता नहीं था कि क्यों क्यों कह रहा है, बोला ठीक। उस जमाने में क्या होता है, एलिफेंट जो गुजरते थे लोग उसको कुछ आटा कुछ दाल देते थे, पुराने जमाने की बात है, ये तो 30-40 साल पुरानी बात है, आपको बता रहा हूं। तो कुछ घंटी बस्ती आती थी, लोग अपना दान दक्षिणा देते थे, राइट। एलिफेंट वहां से गुजरे, एलिफेंट के साथ उनके बच्चे भी थे, और अब आप सोचो एलिफेंट गुजरेगा वहां से और केले का पेड़ सामने होगा, तो एलिफेंट क्या करेगा? पूरा रास्ता साफ, तहस नहस, शुरू में गांव वाले बड़े खुश हुए, एलिफेंट आया, एलिफेंट आया। बाद में देखा कि ये तो पूरा रास्ता साफ हो गया। जब रास्ता साफ हो गया, मोहना वहां से गुजर गया। उसके बाद उनको समझ में आ गया गांव कि किसकी चाल, एलिफेंट अपने आप कैसे आ गया। तो वो लोग जो है एसएसपी के पास झगड़ा करने पहुंच गए। एसएसपी मुर्दाबाद, एसएसपी मुर्दाबाद करके हल्ला वल्ला मचाया उन्होंने। एसएसपी नहीं हुई लेवल का, बहुत ही कामली उसने सबको बिठाया, राइट। सबको पहले चाय पिलवाई, फिर रसगुल्ला खिलवाया, एंड ही डिडंट गो। नाउ दिस इज कॉल्ड सोशल इंटेलिजेंस। वो अंदर खाली बैठे हुए थे एसएसपी साहब, जाके मिल सकते थे, तुरंत मिल सकते थे जाके, राइट, लेकिन वो मिला नहीं। वो व्हाट ही डिड, उन्होंने कहा पहले इनको चाय पिलाओ, नमकीन खिलाओ, रसगुल्ला खिलाओ, और वो चलता रहा। आधे 1 घंटे जब रसगुल्ला खा लिया, पेट में कुछ चला गया, चाय पी ली, होता है कैसी, यू you feel mobilized. यार बस मिला तो खाया, तो गाली का जो इंटेंसिटी है वो बड़ा कम हो जाएगा. This is called social intelligence. फिर तो नमकीन भी खिला दी तो नमक भी खा लिया. This intelligence होना चाहिए, जरूरी है लाइफ में. बाद में एसएसपी साहब आए और हाथ जोड़ के माफी मांगते बोलते सॉरी मैं एक फोन पे था, मैं बड़ा बिजी हो गया था, माफ कीजिएगा, आकर बैठ गए. एसएसपी आपसे माफी मांग लिया. अब देखो माफी मांगा उसने स्टाफ के लिए, लेट जानबूझ के हुआ. राइट, दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू हैंडल द थिंग. फिर वो नाराज थे, हमें पता है आपने ही उनको हाथियों को भेजा था, ये किया था, वो किया था, आपने जो है हमारे पूजा खराब कर दी, देवताओं को मंदिर तोड़ दिया, ब्ला ब्ला, आरोप पे आरोप लगने लगे. एसएसपी ने सुनता रहा. क्यों सुन रहा था? कि स्टीम है इनके अंदर, निकल जाने दो. अगर ये नहीं निकलेगी तो सड़क पे जाकर निकलेगी. लेट इट वेंट आउट. जब वो सब बोल दिए, एसएसपी ने बड़े प्यार से कहा कि मैं माफी चाहूंगा. हम लोगों का जो काम है पुलिस वालों का, आदमियों के झगड़े निपटाने का. यहाँ तो देवताओं का झगड़ा, हाथी देवता ने केला देवता को झगड़ा लिया, इसको मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? मैं तो पुलिस वाला हूँ. आई कांट डू एनीथिंग. सब लोग हंस पड़े और बात फिजल आउट. नाउ टेल मी, इफ इस चीज को आप एकेडमिकली सॉल्व करना चाहते तो कर पाते? कभी नहीं कर पाते. रियल लाइफ की प्रॉब्लम्स ये होती है जहां पे 2+2 4 हमेशा नहीं होता. So this is called real life, right? So listen to people. मैंने यहाँ छोटा सा लिखा है नीचे. This brilliant idea came from a follower. Now यहाँ पे रोल होता है जनरल का. He was a great general. He used to listen to his followers. अगर कोई ईगो में रहता कि अच्छा तू आइडिया देगा तो you would have suffered. So the intellect is not a proprietary idea. Remember this thing. आपने आईटी पास कर लिया, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि सारे इंटेलिजेंट आइडिया आप ही के पास है. Remember this. I would say you would be smart if you have the open eye and open ear to pick up the best ideas. Trusted ideas को पकड़ो. जो भी अच्छा आइडिया मिले उसको पकड़ो, कैच करो, improve करो. That should be the success. Not that कि original idea आप ही के पास आएगा. No. That's very very clear. आते हैं but दूसरे के अंदर भी आ सकते हैं. बस मैं यही कहना चाहता हूँ, दूसरे को भी रिस्पेक्ट दो, सुनो, सम्मान. Right? So now there are many other things to discuss. Let me see if there is something left. Here the last slide. The last slide. Keep learning, be sweet, and never react instantly, and talk and listen as much as you can. तो ये अनुभव की चीजें हैं जो आप करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, and it would help you a lot.